I made that. That way, the HP of all the bosses is still fairly reasonable, even though I have changed some options to go back to doing hard mode. Because Jesus Christ, I'm not dealing with bosses having 8 times more HP than normal. Oh yeah,
Not be fixed. Why can't Yu-Gi-Oh be fixed? Yu-Gi-Oh
I
is a bad
died.
game, apparently. Alright. Cosmic Squiddy. For anyone who is old enough to remember Squidward on the dueling book, this is the guy who is famous for playing with the cards upside down. ARG streams, classic back in the day. He used to just play with the cards upside down. That was his thing. He was notorious for just playing with the cards upside down. And then, of course, Lake Monsters ruined it. So they came out with an emergency ban list that hit some of the most degenerate cards in the existence of Yu-Gi-Oh! And guess what? People literally just adapted and played the next most degenerate thing. And you know, weird. That going first will never be fixed in Yu-Gi-Oh! You want to know why? Because this game has way too many degenerate cards. So the emergency ban list was a great move, by the way. A huge step in the right direction, hitting things like Fossil Dyna, even having the foresight to hit Barrier Statue of the Drop, because that was also a rock monster that you search off the Galley Granite. But guess what? People just played the next best thing. So in Mitsurugi, Pure Mitsurugi of YCS Pittsburgh, I'm sitting at home watching. They are now playing the water statue. It can be searched off of 7 Tachyon, which can be tutored off of Dragluxion, which can be made easily using 2 level Mitsurugi. So as long as you don't use your normal summon, just... Admittedly, that is a little bit more clunky and convoluted to do. And I don't think the extra deck space is exactly that, free. But... you know, it's true, right? Like that's kind of what happens. We saw it in Snake Eye format. You just have like continuous trap card. What was it, like skill drain or summon limit? Put that on your opponent, and then they banned it. And then you just go down, and we went back to skill drain, and then they limited it, and then then it was an anti-spell, and then they banned anti-spell. So very slowly but surely we're going down the totem pole of floodgates. Hopefully they just get rid of all of them and realize that cards printed in 2004 don't really have a place today. It's just the reality of it.
I'd argue they never had a play.
Then skill drain, then anti-spell.
I remember getting skill drained during the early days. They weren't playing beatdown, they were just playing stun.
There needs to be like 100+ hits on a ban list to get rid of floodgates, because people will find ways, like Dragluxion, or any sort of convoluted mess to try and get into a floodgate that stops your opponent from playing, because the best combos in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are combo decks that don't just put up multiple negates, but just straight up restrict a line of your deck's functionality. Combo yet again and lock out your opponent, just like how you would with like the current ban list. But that's what I'm saying. The current ban list still has like cards that you replace. Fish Trap can summon out to the opponent's field using the Concari, but now people are just playing Spellcancellor. It's literally more or less the same thing. If you have a Spellcancellor on the board plus like any form of disruption, the powerful board breakers are all spell cards. The decks like Pure Mitsurugi, Dracotail, they're all very spell focused. Even Yummy relies on a lot of spells to pursue boards, and you just can't do that when Spellcancellor is on the field. So nothing really changed. It's like Patrick Copeland was saying, there's nothing. Floodgates. You can't ban floodgates because there are too many of them. Ever since the competitive inception of Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's always been some kind of degenerate turn 1 BS that the player can do to either win on the spot or lock the opponent out from playing. So if they go and ban the remaining barrier statues,
strategy,
well, there's gonna be something else that's toxic.
Involves these metal boxes.
If we take a look at Yu-Gi-Oh! History, if we go down memory lane, there was the Gato lock. Even though it wasn't like an FTK, it was still something you could do to lock out the opponent. Chaos Emperor Dragon would get rid of their entire hand, and then you summon out a grass and the game's over because your opponent can't do anything. They can't draw for turn, and they have no cards. You can tell how old Squiddy is, huh? It was literally an FTK deck that people underestimated, and it ended up winning the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship. You know what's insane about Frog FTK, by the way, for anyone who's ever watched games with Frog FTK? That deck is really good without the FTK. Like, it is just a really good deck. Sabers on turn 1. If you have Rescue Cat plus Troll, you just rip your opponent's hand for multiple cards with double X Saber Gato. Turn 1, Infernity Loops with Trishula. You can make like triple Trishula on your turn, or just standard Infernity shenanigans. If you set multiple barriers or breaks, there's no deck that can break through that. You know, there's so many combo heavy decks that end up like pseudo FTK and board that can cannot be broken. In 2013, we had the wind-up hand loop. You rip your opponent's hand for multiple cards. I love this history lesson. Call monsters, call spells. Your opponent just can't play either. There have been multiple consistent FTK.
Oh,
he didn't show the Shotmaster. Where we had the Tempest Magician. You know, we also had the Starving Venom Burn with the Leaderlust guy. We had Goki with the Gumbler, hand ripped for 4 cards, plus a U-Lock board. There were Dark World hand loops. There was the Triple Colossus hand board that locks your opponent out from playing. My point is, there's always
I
something crazy
just
when you're going
did.
first in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because this is the only card game without actual hard restrictions. It's not like Pokemon where there's energies or Magic the Gathering where there's land cards that you have to play, you have to tap for mana, there's no mana system. The
I
only
swear
hard
people
restrictions that
in
we have in this game
this
are number one,
in
normal
this
summons
game
per
are
turn,
sometimes
and number
more
two, recent
oblivious
edition in the past
than I
decade, I might
am
add, the
sometimes.
hard ones per turn effects on cards. This is why, like a lot of the older cards that say
As
once
I
per
can
turn are not
understand, the
hard ones
art
per
of
turns,
music
and
is
they make
something you
that
can.
hundred silent really bust
It's fun to get
and this is
lost
one
in
of the
that
reasons
kind
why
of
the
thing,
normal
but
summons have been so ridiculously pushed in this game, because they realized that normal
on
summon is like the one
strategizing.
hard restriction on the game. So it's okay for them to print like Snake Eye Ash, Ice Razio, Aramasa even. But I think at the end of the day, this is something that we have to accept as a player base. This is what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. There is no
Do we
restriction
have
on
to
stuff.
accept
That's
this
just
though?
how the game works. So it
But like, do we have to accept this? Because I don't think we do. And Konami is doing something about it. Very slowly, incrementally. I mean, it's been around for years, decades. And we're getting through a lot of them very slowly, but it'll happen eventually. Where every problematic floodgate will be gone.
inevitably there will be things that are busted going first. Unfortunately, that's just how the game is. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people, including myself, like Yu-Gi-Oh! So much. Because it's so crazy. You can do so many things in one turn, which number one makes
That
gameplay a
is
lot more
the
funner when you're not like
problem.
relying on turns. Like people always say, oh, there's
Unless
only
you
2 to 3 turns
floodgate
on
your
average in
opponent.
Yu-Gi-Oh! That sounds awful.
I
Because
always
coming from
say
other
this,
games like
but
Pokemon
in Yu-Gi-Oh, the default state of any player at any given time is victory. The default assumption is victory. So the way you win is to make it so that default state disappears. How do you do that? Well, if you're going first, the best way to do that, the most guaranteed way to do that, is through floodgates. Going second, the best way to do that is with hand traps that say you can't play the game anymore. Maxi, Molcharmy, Dimension Shifter, Droll and Lockbird. All those other things. Because if you don't floodgate, then your board will be broken. Or you will be interrupted. That's just how it goes. Consequently, if you go second and you don't have any of the necessary win cons, then you'll lose no matter what. Because if your opponent so much as breathes on their turn 1, there is nothing you can do turn 2 as the turn 2 player. The best way to counteract this, the most fun way in my opinion, is to make it so the battle to see who can destroy who can get their opponent to be on a losing position is happening constantly. And you do that with turn 0 interactions. That is the way to go. Anyway, I want to make a backup of my save just in case of soft locks. Where did I save my backup again? Let's just restart Simu.
Magic, how they measure interaction is through turns because of those restrictions. You know, playing one land per turn, playing one energy per turn, for example. There are restrictions which inevitably, the very little amount of Pokemon I played, the biggest thing that was off-putting was like no interaction. Like, yeah, you get turns and you go back and forth and you do things to each other, but like you don't. There's no quick effects. Zero. I'm pretty sure through the history of Pokemon, there's been like one or two cards that even do anything remotely close to like a quick effect on the opponent's turn. That was very off-putting to me personally. I just felt
It's
that
a
that
game based
wasn't
on
really
anticipation.
engaging. It's sort of just two people doing solitaire stuff to each other, and then yeah. You played Hearthstone, it's the exact same thing or close. I don't know, Hearthstone doesn't have quick effects, but there's a lot of like triggers and death rattles, traps and secrets.
Yeah, those still technically count as you
Hearthstone doesn't
being
have that
able to
much
play the game
interaction,
on the
but Hearthstone is
opponent's
really fun
turn.
for other reasons. That, for me personally, is because it's digital and there's just like a lot of crazy, wacky things that can happen in Hearthstone compared to a card game, like physical card game. Like you can't emulate
True,
puzzle
like
box
adding
uploads from
cards
you, can you? I mean, you could
from
in
the
Hearthstone
game,
potentially,
from
but
outside
anyway,
of the
that's the point I'm
game.
making, right? And apples and oranges, kind of different comparison. But yeah, for me personally, Pokemon didn't really feel that engaging in that way because you
Of
just
course,
didn't
leave it to
like do
Yu-Gi-Oh to
anything.
fucking make it ridiculous. Okay, it works. I don't know why Vanaboris didn't. But it appears everything's alright now. Here goes. As long as the guy talks at the beginning, that's how I know things are fine. If he doesn't, then fuck my anus. I should have eaten an attack up. Now. There's no way I fucking somehow ended up missing Fire Blight of all things. No, not BCML. I guess 0.9 resistance is still pretty big. But like if I went with default value, then my mod would literally not do anything. Oh, and also I'm definitely supposed to be on my spirit form. You, but I won't. None of the trouble, the others don't. A thousand reasons go about my day. Ignore your whispers, which I wish would go away. You're not the voice, you're just a ringing in my ear, and if I heard you, which I don't hear, everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls. I'm sorry, secret sirens, but I'm blocking out your calls. A no hit of this without the spirits will be very difficult. That's a stupid sign. What? Shit, dude. Wait, my fairies? Oh, it's the Pity Sisters. point, I have Flame Breaker. Keep doing the sideways attack. No! We got this. I shouldn't be I shouldn't be too upset by the fact that the HP of the boss actually has a reasonable amount of HP that's befitting of an actual boss rather than a mini boss. Can I stasis? This'll take too long without the spirit. As long as the cutscene plays. I miss having a shield. Fuck! The reach is too big for me to run away from it. Unreasonable to do that. Fuck me! Why'd you start off with that? Fuck. Looks like there's no avoiding it. Fuck. I did it! The fuck? Hmm. And that attack is super free. Time to be a baby. And this still doesn't work. I'm gonna go baby-er mode. Even more baby. Wait, what? It's enabled by default? Oh no, wait. To disable it means to allow you to eat while doing the things shown here. You mean swimming, right? Diving isn't a thing in this game. Oh, well, I would like to be able to use those. Fuck you. I am a big fan of disabling eating while in combat because as long as eating is enabled, especially outside of master mode, your true HP is based on the amount of food you have on your inventory. Which means you're going to win a lot of fights just through simple attrition, eventually. Man, why would you disable? Those are game mechanics, and then you're disabling them for the final fight. So everything you've been working up to is apparently worthless. Like, come on. Okay, yeah, the descriptions are fucked. doesn't. If I forget to disable it at any point, I will still be applying that limitation by myself. Yes. At the very least, I can do something like I can eat one food when battle begins. I think it's a reasonable rule to go for. Stop regenerating. I did it! Eat my shit! Fuck me. How do you fuck up? Blocking with that. Fuck. Whew.
Oh. Hmm. Hmm.
Ah, count me in, tiny princess. I'm the fearless Daruk, after all. And if Hyrule needs my help, I'll gladly lay down my life.
Thank you, Daruk.
Little did you know.
Not sure if it's Calamity Ganon's fault or what, but I hear monsters have been attacking people more than ever lately. Times like these, you shouldn't leave the castle without a horde of mighty Gorons to watch your back.
You sound like Father. He's assigning a knight to watch over me wherever I go. I hear the top contender is the most accomplished swordsman in all of Hyrule.
Huh? That could only be... Huh? What the...
Link's already so
They
well traveled,
really
he
are
knows who
all over
Daruk
the place
is.
these
A
days.
whole bunch of other people.
Is someone being attacked? Cowards! Wait here,
And
princess.
here we see another move that Link has. The mighty spin attack! The best move for a claymore. And here's the pose. Hold on.
Mindless little cuckoos! No monster
Cuckoos.
stands a chance when
That's how you
fighting
pronounce
me,
it.
the
There it is.
almighty Daruk.
You guys were very useful.
You're safe.
Doggy.
It seems our friend here was the one being attacked. Precious boy, you saved his life. Huh?
I love how we get to see everyone use their power to do something cool. And Daruk uses his power in this
Good
cutscene.
riddance, and stay safe. I'm
To
sorry
be a
you had to see
fucking
that
coward.
side of me. As a kid, dogs always chased me. I still panic when I see one of those critters.
I never imagined the great Daruk would have a weakness.
So tell me, Princess,
Yes?
Calamity Ganon isn't, some kind of a dog monster, is he?
I really like this joke. Because, like, depending on the game, Ganon's always been depicted in all sorts of ways. Obviously, the most common is as a pig, but there are some where he was a dog.
Oh. I knew you could do it! Now you can use Daruk's protection more than ever. If you see that Ganon jerk, give him a message for me. Good riddance, bacon breath.
Sure. Hey, bacon breath. Whoa! So we still get it. Never mind, because my inventory was full, I didn't. I am quite upset about that. Let's see if I can try again. Just immediately. That doesn't matter. I mean, since both are equally hard, I suppose. Although I'd argue having to redo the entire thing is way harder than trying to do a Mr. Perfect run of just the boss. Since you have, like, limited set of equipment you're allowed to use. And a lot of other prohibitions that are just so much worse. Ah, fuck. There's no pity system. Well, it's alright. It is quite not alright. Alright, check out this strategy. Wait, why am I still not using my spirit? That skips the first phase quite nicely. No! Hitboxes. Darned hitboxes. You simply have to wait for an opportunity. Like this one. Eat this. What? Come on. The music is so subdued. city system time. There it is. Spin to win, baby!
Can you pass along a message to the youngster for me? Tell him, when I was young, nobody gave me the time of day. I was green as grass and timid as a mouse. Just work hard, watch out for your brothers, and eat lots of tasty rocks. Do that, and you'll be stronger than me.
Yeah, did anyone know this? You can
It'd be great
refight the
if you could
bosses as
tell
many
him
times
that
as
for
you
me,
like,
brother.
and there's at least 5 different voiced cutscenes. Nah. But I want that reward. I was robbed. And I'm gonna get what I deserve. What I rightfully earned. Whatever. Same thing. I like the ancient Sheikah gear. I wanna make the ancient bow faster. It's so slow.
You're here to take control of old Redania back from Ganon, eh? You're gonna need a map that shows the guts of it. You can grab the...
Oh, thank God they give us a torch. Get to keep my skills. wonder if I get... I'm pretty sure I don't get to keep the souls. So literally only the weapons matter here. Nah, I was only after the shield. And the sword.
Nice job getting the map of the Divine Beast. The terminals that control Rudania to take back Rudania.
I just realized I'm supposed to have Rivali's bow as well. What a time sink. Oh, that works.
There are 4 terminals.
yet.
There are 3 terminals remaining. There are 2 terminals.
Goes outside, right? That helps. I was hoping for more arrows, and that's exactly what I got, so thanks.
Just 1 terminal remaining. Just...
No!
That was the last terminal. There should be a... Watch out for that sword! Get it together! That flame ball is dangerous.
Wait, what? It's not 152 thingy? I mean, I'm keeping it, but... The hell was that 152 thing? Oh, was it for my spirit form? Our spirit form gets a buff? Cool looking weapon, I must admit. Are they all 100 uses? Whack. I need to know if beating... If, like, I already beat it once without the mod. What if I do it again? Hopefully it'll be allowed. Wish there were more convenient foods for increasing attack for us to get, considering they nerfed the almighty banana. Very sad. Let's see if it works. I am, of course, cheating. If I don't get it, I'm just gonna hope that my Urbosa spirit form
Rivali's
is
Gale is now ready.
just already strong by default. Damn it. Okay, honestly, this was really easy. I didn't even need my cheats, actually. Because I straight up took no damage anyways.
You have given Hyrule so much, yet I have one more request. Should you happen upon my old diary, please show it to the princess. There's a section about a dear friend of mine. Her mother.
Dear friend.
She left this world suddenly, leaving her sweet daughter behind.
It's an in-joke, but whenever
How
someone
the
says
loss
dear
must have
friend,
wounded
it's
her.
always romantic. No. I mean, it seems like we do indeed have the stronger versions already, so fair enough. Alright, last but not least. Gotta remember to turn off my cheats. Want a couple more food buff things. Want two of the ancient claymores. I had an opportunity, but I let it slide. Oh, you can just attempt the re-challenge whenever. It's only the Champions Ballad boss fights thingy. You know, we're hunting. Guardians. I should also be able to insta-kill with Guardian arrows again. Oh, there's a Guardian. There's something I want to do. I turned off the custom stats because I wanted to customize it on my own. And I completely forgot to do it. That's why you may have noticed I don't run as fast anymore even with my Sheikah upgrade. Sheikah running upgrade. Okay, wow, this really is just stamina. Mm. Maybe they are custom player stats. I see. It's actually so funny.
like do anything. You just sort of waited for your turn. But you know, that's not like a bad thing. It's just for me personally, in my opinion, to caveat for the internet, I just didn't think it was that interesting.
Translate to more turns. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, you only have like 2 or 3 turns because there are a lot of more interactions in each.
See, this is just wrong, right? The principal idea for a card game is that each interaction is on your own turn. No, not necessarily. That's where Yu-Gi-Oh is like most famous for. It doesn't really do it that much anymore, but outside of like what? Exodia Obliterate, what is like the most iconic voice line from the anime? You activated my trap card, right? Like that. Yu-Gi-Oh is like famous for that, right? It's not really like that anymore, unfortunately. But that is a big principle of Yu-Gi-Oh is like the interaction. You know, as little as there is with floodgates, but technically, you know, playing back and forth effects on each other's turn is sort of maybe what Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of known for in some ways, not always. More famously for not being able to activate anything, but you know, there are ways to play on each other's turn. You activated my hand trap. They're gonna redo that scene with Ash Blossom.
Turn with having a lot of hand trap boards, a lot of grinding, a lot of effects activating everywhere, a lot of searching your decks. Turns take a lot longer, so you don't measure turns as an indicator for how good the game is. You measure interactions. And if you look at non-card games, Marvel vs. Capcom.
This is also a very like important point, by the way. Like turn length and turn count are not necessarily always going to be the best measures of interaction, because you can have a very long duel, but that doesn't mean that there was a lot of interaction. You can have a lot of steps in a certain in one turn, but that also does not mean that there was a good duel, right? We've all been in like floodgate stalemates, sealed matches where someone has like, you know, one of those aroma jar style cards, cannot be destroyed by battle. You're just setting and passing, and it's like 30-turn duel. Oh, it must have been a lot of interaction. No, there wasn't actually. Mystic Mine, floodgates. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you can have a duel that's 2 turns, and while there were 50 steps taken by someone, it could just be like full combo, and then on the opponent's turn, negate, 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 right? So it goes both ways. So interaction isn't necessarily a measure of quantity, either in turn count or in steps. But I would argue interaction is measured best, somewhat subjectively, via real activation of card effects between both players. Generally, the more activations of cards that happen in an equal proportion means that it was a good duel. If turn 1 player makes 20 steps and turn 2 player has 20 steps, you can probably assume that was like a decent game because there was back and forth there.
very much similar. That game is basically you touch someone and it's like a full combo. You basically win the game. And I think that's one thing that we love about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it's so...
Sorry, is that a 125 hit combo? What is that, the Adamantipator of fighting games? Like, what?
chaotic, being able to do
That's
all these
nope, that's just Marvel
Yes, they can
versus
be cancerous
Capcom,
sometimes,
baby.
But at the end of the day, these same players that have been topping events and winning events, winning YCSs, SJCs, ever since the dawn of competitiveness in this game, we're talking like the early 2000s,
That's light.
it's always been the same names. Why? Because this game still takes skill at the end of the day. The fact that there's...
Oh, yeah, and of course, that's the most important thing. Is like, yeah, while a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is garbage and, like, you know, annoying and stupid in this, like, turn one wombo combo or floodgate style gameplay, like, the best players do still keep winning because they find the best ways to abuse these mechanics.
So many things you can do, so many interactions.
And that requires a lot of good deck building, foresight, planning,
very skillful at the highest levels.
And also,
even more
weirdly enough, I know, difficult to say, unfortunate that many of you will disagree, but it also does require skill to activate. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games are non-games. Like, on my way to Master 1, for example, I would say that maybe 15, 17-ish% of my duels were just non-games. My opponent just went first, I didn't draw any hand traps, and I lost, right? But most of the games, you are interacting, you are playing, and you are trying to win. Via, you know, using your cards in the correct order.
For recently because of how many interactions are in the game. Cards having a billion effects that you forget about. And even deck building. If there's a degenerate FTK combo, it forces you to scour the card pool for an obscure card that was previously unplayable, but suddenly...
Anyone ever been hit by Neko Main King in tier format?
This game means that you can literally look through
bulk
in Yu-Gi-Oh! And find something good. There's a reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk is the most expensive out of any card game. More so than Magic, more so than Pokemon, which
Wait, is that true?
Pennies for their bulk. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards can inevitably become good, even though they've been unplayable. You read a card and you're like, wow, this card is absolutely crap. It's not playable. But then some card comes out and all of a sudden that card becomes like insanely good. Like even cards like DNA Surgery back in 2013 against spellbooks, all of a sudden DNA Surgery became insane because you call dragons and then they can't activate any of their spellbook.
It's funny that the example he gives is yet another floodgate.
Not think to be remotely playable become playable over time. And that's one thing I love about the deck building perspective of
he's probably not referring to like general bulk, but like the idea that like some random tech card from 20 years ago suddenly is like this.
People complaining about this on Twitter. They're like, oh, this game can't be fixed. There's so many crazy things. Well, guess what? This is a game that we played for a long time. Like myself, I've been in this game for over 15 years playing competitively. It's always been toxic. It is not a recent thing. A lot of people seem to think it's a recent thing where it's like, oh, okay, the game has become so fast and power crept. No, the game has always been like this. And this is one of the reasons why I love it so much. There's no easy way to fix it per se, but there are ways to keep it in check. And I think the R&D team is doing a fantastic job
right?
Recently, it seems like Konami Japan has given them the green light, you know, making changes to the time rules, making the Genesis format, and of course the emergency ban list that we just got, where they're actually attacking cards that people have said have been annoying, have been busted going first cards for like a decade. You know, Dimension No Barrier has been a crazy card that's been very, very one-sided. They just went and hit this card. I think they're doing a really great job, and I love to see it.
Yep,
you know,
they're
giving
just
new prize support as well. The prize support, they're still working on this, making this even better. This is something that's been unprecedented.
Wasn't there supposed to be a part 2 announcement of the prize support stuff, by the way? I feel like that was a thing. Maybe it's this all Mandela effect gaslighting, but I vaguely remember them saying there was going to be more stuff announced, and then they just kind of didn't. They forgot. That makes sense. Like, what are the prize cards like for first and second and third? Like these days, like, is it still Solaria and stuff like that? Wasn't it those custom giant cards? I don't know if that was like part 2 of that or if that's like a different thing. Custom giant cards also only for like first place, right? Because the OG prize cards are what, like top 4? You get the ultra for first, and then I think second as well gets an ultra, maybe even third, and then top 4 is like super. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Something like that, but yeah. Air fryers, true. They're waiting for the Switch 2 price to drop.
Traditionally had, you know, the worst prize support, but now it seems
Wait,
like
wasn't the recent French Open a Switch 2, or was it a Switch 1?
Trying to actively make it better. They still have restrictions at the end of the day based on what Konami Japan dictates, it seems, but they're trying to play around that. They're trying their best to tiptoe around that and give what's best for the players, what we're asking this whole entire time, which I think is phenomenal. And again, I see a lot of people complaining on Twitter, but I think at the end of the day, we should be appreciating that, number one, we signed up to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's a broken game, and number two, they're actually trying to make it the best version of this broken game that has the most interactivity. So instead of sitting...
That's a very good point. and way to phrase it. They're trying to make this kind of broken game into the best version of said broken game. Like that's genuinely probably
I
a good way to
can't
look
call
at
it
it,
the
right?
best
And while I'm
version if
complaining on
you're
Twitter,
straight
I
up
would say adapt.
fucking
Try and
saying
beat the
no to
metagame. Try and actually
certain
play this
game
game competitively,
mechanics.
because once you realize,
Pendulum and
even
link
though there are
summoning
degenerate things
Well,
going
then
are
on,
it's
part
still
of the
it's still the
game.
same faces that are
We
doing well in
gotta
this game.
accept
Guess
that.
what? Because this
I
game, at the end
want
of the day,
them.
skill is still
Please,
outweighing the
let
luck
me
factor. Skill
fucking
is
play
outweighing
my
these
licks and
FTKs, these
pendulums.
degenerate locks, super heavy combo decks. If you're good at the game, you will find a way to beat this game, even though there is a lot of RNG and
Disabling those
variance. There is
literally does
definitely more skill.
nothing.
And when everyone's playing the same
Pendulums,
set
I
of
can
rules and
kinda
circumstances,
see
the
the
best thing we
reason
can do
why.
is adapt and play the
But like it's
best with
become
what we're
clear
given.
that Genesis
It was a
isn't
very abrupt
supposed to
end
be
to
a
the video,
low power
but
format. It's a
yeah,
pack filler
the best way to
format.
look at it is like
A place
everyone
to
is in the
play
same boat.
pack
Everyone is
filler
in the same situation. Like you are
that are
not
still powerful.
uniquely
Because
what's the
modern
word?
pack filler is still fucking
You are not
ridiculous.
like uniquely targeted by the variants of Yu-Gi-Oh! So everyone is also going to suffer from that, right? So yeah, adapting and stuff is one of the ways you can alleviate that, but it might not be the best answer for everyone. For me personally, why I don't play this game like ultra competitively, you know, occasionally I'll get like the nice little I'll be in the mood to like play Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively, like, you know, I did Master 1 recently. And that's because I actually do like the current format of Master Duel. Outside of a couple of egregious issues like, you know, Maxi and Malice. For the most part, it was actually a pretty fun grind. But the reason I don't go all in is because of that like 15-17% thing that I mentioned. There is a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels that are non-games. Too many. And in a game of a card game that has variance and luck, I think there is too much of that variance and luck for me to enjoy it. You can't win every game in
Indeed,
Yu-Gi-Oh! You can't win every
that
duel.
is,
But the problem is like a lot
as
of
Parfa
games
already
are
said,
non-games.
and I am
Now,
inclined to
if it was
agree,
only
a
like
lot of
5%,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I could
are just
tolerate it.
non-games.
But it feels like much of the duels that I play are non-games. There's one too many non-games for me to enjoy. So yeah. This video has a lot of dislikes, by the way. My God. Did he say anything controversial? I guess like maybe telling people to adapt was getting them a little bit upsetty. The skill floor is on the roof. The skill ceiling is on Mars. And if you try to build a spaceship to get to Mars, you'll get hit by Nibiru along the way. That is the craziest analogy, but I guess it kind of works. I mean, I suppose, like, maybe technically not wrong. They're going to go to the next best thing. Okay, so you ban those, and then you ban the next ones, and then you ban the next ones. There's 12,000 cards, not an infinite number. Yeah, like, true. That is what's going on. I mean, that is stating the obvious, right? Konami never learned from the past because they don't have to. Saying that we shouldn't ban problem cards because people would just play the next best thing is a pretty terrible argument. He didn't say that. Saying we shouldn't ban problem, he didn't say that.
That's
right? Am I
literally,
going crazy? Like,
yeah, that's
that just
the
wasn't
opposite of
an
what
argument.
he fucking said.
He literally said, like, oh, we're, you know, commending Konami for actually doing, trying to address the problems and banning the problem cards. With that reasoning, why would we ever ban any card? People will play the best next thing, right? For your other point, just because something requires skill doesn't mean it's enjoyable. I'm sure breaking bricks with your forehead requires some level of skill.
What?
But does
What
that
do
mean it's
you
enjoyable or that you should
mean?
partake because it's even the same people at the top of the forehead brick breaking for a long time now? Yeah, I mean,
What
you know,
kind
the,
of game
Punch in the Nuts
isn't
Championship
enjoyable without
quite
skill?
skillful, actually. There's a lot of people
Even
who can
Mario
take
Party,
a ton
the
of
game
like punches to
everyone
the dick.
says is just an RNG fest.
Now, does that
It's
sound like a
still fun
YCS you
because
guys
you
want to
get
take
to
part in?
make
Like, probably not,
choices
right?
every now and then.
But
You
ultimately,
have
like,
mini
that
games
is like
to
a tournament
play.
that
Those
probably will have a meta game and
require
will have people
skill.
who are at the top.
Making choices is
I
a
basically gave
skill.
up after the
Making
blue
game
cards
actions
game.
is a skill.
Wait, is he talking about Relinquished or is he talking
Your
about
idea, things that
Kagari?
don't require skill are
This seems like
fucking
such a weird
listening to
argument. You can't ban
music
everything.
and
I don't
watching
think he said that.
films.
Did I?
And I feel like that's what you should be doing, Mr.
I don't know.
Commenter.
Like, maybe he alluded to it or something, but I feel like his general point was they are addressing each of those cards, and it's reaching a point where they are hitting the problem cards to the point where they're less and less egregious. He kind of did imply it initially. I mean, I think, like, making a statement doesn't mean you agree with it. He's just laying out the foundations of an argument. I don't know. I guess he didn't really word it perfectly, because clearly enough people seem to think he said that. That's not what I got from this personally. Axel Synchro, Burning Soul. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the video. Shoutouts to Squiddy, if you're gonna go check out his channel. It was very well edited. I did like the video essay style thing and the aesthetic of the video itself. So that was really cool.
I'm past the point of caring that I should start a new game every time I make a change to my mod pack. At the end of the day, I kinda just wanna finish a playthrough of Breath of the Wild modded. Sometime in my lifetime, preferably. Damn, that's kinda cursed. Seeing it be back to normal like that. Yep, still pretty fast. What? The electricity just died for a fucking millisecond. What the fuck was that? That was kinda scary. Yep, the internet's fucking dead. It'll take a while for that to turn back on. We do have dragon parts. I suppose I can rely on those for increasing length. I guess I should cook another 30 minutes worth. Would be very valuable. Where are my star fragments? I want to make it fully heal as well for fun. Although, yeah, unreasonable and unnecessary. Yep, that's satisfactory. We have salmon meunier, don't we? Or hearty salmons. Wait, what? Nah, I could have sworn that's supposed to give yellow. That sucks. I'm just gonna eat it. It's a waste of inventory to carry something so low impact like that. It says 8 extra hearts! Symmetrical heal. With our current health count. That's overkill. I need more frogs.
Welcome back to another JoJo chapter review. This time we're taking a look at chapter 30 of the JoJo lands titled West End Girl Part 1. Last time the gang came under attack by Key West's stand while trying to secure the lava rock, and Lam Shaban began to succumb to Lulu's bag's groove. This time we start off at the boutique with the police that Lam Shaban called arriving. They barge in only to find a single man, Dr. Roberts. He says that he's Meryl May's doctor and was called there, but nobody's here. After stepping to the side, Roberts is pulled behind a door by the Mate Kudasai, finding himself in another version of the boutique with everybody else. It seems that Usagi was able to use his stand to create a fake version of the boutique, which is wrapped around the real one, not unlike the deflated boat trick used by Zukuro in Part 5. It's revealed that Meryl May called him there to sew her and Paco's fingers back on, which Usagi is keeping on ice. The doctor comments that she recently had an ICU built at the boutique, but they can't use it since that's where Yokohama is currently being held. Meanwhile, Lam Shaban is starting to die from Bag's groove, and Lulu tells her that if she tells Howler about the lava rock on the yacht, she'll spare her. Instead, she opens fire on Lulu, but finally seems to die while attempting to reload. Back on the yacht, Howler has just stumbled onto the scene of the group under attack by West End Girl. Dragona thinks they should run, but Jodio says that since Howler still doesn't know about the lava rock, there's still a chance for him to sign the documents. Charming Man uses the rock-like pieces of his skin to push off the FBI agent's helmet, exposing the stand. We learn that West End Girl has a range of 25 meters, and she plans for him to escape into a nearby drain and get away with the lava rock. Charming Man grabs the rock, but West End Girl moves down to the agent's arm, drawing his gun to shoot him. Howler notices West End Girl retreating and realizes it's a stand ability. However, the stand is trapped by November Rain, while Jodio and Dragona move to grab the lava rock. Howler picks up the phone thinking it's Lam Shaban, but doesn't hear Lulu trying to warn him before he hangs up. Howler swears to himself that if the enemy has the lava rock, he won't sign the documents, and the chapter ends with the siblings closing in on the stand. This was another great chapter. Last month the manga was on hiatus, as Araki usually is in October. This one did a good job of bringing us back up to speed after the 2-month break. The first thing I want to talk about is the boutique scene, since we see a really amazing use of the Mate Kudasai here, and it really makes me wonder what kind of limitations the ability can even have if it's able to make a whole dummy room like this. This doctor character is also interesting to me, since he does not seem to be surprised about something so outlandish happening. It makes me wonder if he's had to deal with something like this before, which adds some fuel to the idea of Meryl May having a stand of her own. We also saw Lulu taking out Lam Shaban. I know I said she was dead earlier, but with JoJo you never really know, and it is possible she's just incapacitated here. After all, the other characters did survive Lulu's attack. I guess it is maybe possible for her to be saved the same way Usagi was with the medical equipment there. If Key West somehow ends up having the upper hand, it could be possible that they have to save her and make an exchange. They may also need her to call off the police who are still inside the boutique. As for the rest of the chapter, it was a pretty good stand battle, and we're finally starting to see what the limitations of West End Girl are. It has a range of 25 meters and can only attack from inside gaps, otherwise it's vulnerable. We also saw a bit of Charming Man's biology, with a panel explaining the process of his skin hardening. Like I've said many times before, this has an eerie resemblance to the biology of the rock humans, with Part 8 also going into detail on the cellular process that hardened their skin.
Like most stand battle chapters, there isn't too much to dig into outside of the moment of own action. Since this chapter is West End Girl Part 1, I mostly expect next month to just be a continuation of the stand battle. That's about everything there is to go over this time. I do want to apologize for my lack of videos in the middle of this month, since I've been pretty busy. I actually have a few different larger video ideas, but I'm not sure which ones I'll go with first. As of now, we still don't know when exactly the Steel Ball Run anime is coming other than 2026. There will be some new Part 7 anime merchandise on sale at Jump Festa later in December, but there isn't any word as to whether an announcement will be there yet. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell, since whenever the
Nice.
announcement does happen, I'll be covering it with a video. You can also join the Hum and Beat Discord to get notified on new uploads and chapter releases. Finally, I'd appreciate if you help support the channel on Patreon or by becoming a YouTube member. All supporters get their names featured at the end of the video and can submit viewer questions I answer at the end of my main videos. Thank you for watching.
Alright.
This is the part of the video where I thank my
I'm
$5
significantly much
patrons
less
and
lucky
members.
this time around, it
Thank
seems.
you to Doorbell, Craig, Rico Vids, Zukato, Pumpkin Doge, Nero, Sponge Cake, Cackets, Luciano Ramaha, Brianna Meme, Christian McDonough, Ghost Dawn, Zach Greenfield, Rob Goliath, Jacob Smith, Big T, Gold, Red Hot Mayonnaise, Zenkai, Royal Slush, Keenan, Harry, Joe Hensheen, Saint Bobo, John Garcia, Crank and Plank, Puffin32, Frank Studios, Shin Megami Tensei Film Reviews, Rufiono, Fiddlehead, Justice, Edward, Jack Marchins, Vanilla K, Star the Gunslinger, Mel, Alaval, Collie, and Ridley.
New Colgate Total. House for
That's always very annoying when that happens. And I forgot about the carrots. Full inventory.
Hey! Sa! Oh.
I'm honestly really tempted to just sell the barbarian set. I mean, if I'm desperate enough for money, but I'm not. Decidedly not desperate for money. I haven't been using the sneak ups, nor the defense ups.
Yeah!
I want at least 5 slots open. I can just sell the fireproof elixirs. And not being able to change armor is just more annoying than anything. I mean, I've already been applying the rule that I'm not allowed to change when I'm in combat anyway. Eh. Well, I can make it be based off rupees. That's an interesting way of doing it. Ooh, upgrade. I guess auto upgrade means it's based on your game progression, which makes Hestu and Koroks entirely worthless. But the Koroks still give you items.
Alright, time to do some research, I guess.
Hello guys, this is Grandmaster Kaiba. Thank you very much for visiting my channel.
You're
Today
welcome.
I'm bringing you this very cool first edition card made popular by the anime once again, and this one is called Jam Breeding Machine.
Okay, I'm still with you. Visit our TCG Grandmaster Kaiba shop and start building your collection today. Okay. Oh. And sold. Good afternoon, Jake enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. If you're unfamiliar, I have a Patreon, and high-tier members can recommend decks for 10-minute testing. Usually, this is a pretty good barometer for what people want to see. That Infernoid list from the other week was actually a recommendation from that site. But occasionally, about once
Fuck
every
me,
6
why?
months, they come up with an idea so heinous, so unplayable, I have to imagine that they are secret Farfian agents out to get them. Presenting, and I can't believe this, Jam Breeding Machine.
And I finally drew the damn breeding machine.
So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, they're not paying for this one. With that, let's get reading. Jam Breeding Machine is a card with a pretty interesting history. It's used by Merrick in the Duel Monsters anime, which maybe explains how Joey almost beat him. This continuous effect summons a slime token once during your standby phase. If you think this card sounds incredibly mid, I'd urge you to reconsider. It's actually insanely bad. While the card is active, you cannot summon any monsters at all except slime tokens. No normals, no specials, no workarounds with flip monsters. You're just done playing the game, period, and all you have to show for it is one 500 attack monster a turn. We're playing this with all the usual suspects. Solomon Floodgates, the broken draw spells afforded to ass-bad decks, Wetlands and Token Stampede in order to maybe squeeze something out of these slimes. Listen, I'm not optimistic. With that, let's get into the card by card, I guess. Lord of the Heavenly Prison is in here. When the only good cards in your deck are your back row, you need to protect them. You've got 3 copies of Reactor Slime. Fun fact, this summons slime tokens. That means you can activate its effect under the floodgate of Jam Breeding Machine, but to what end, I am not exactly sure. We're playing 3 copies of Aquarium Stage. It prevents your water monsters from being destroyed by battle with non-water monsters, which is something. 3 copies of the Breeding Machine itself, 3 Wetlands, and then 2 insanely stupid singular spells. Supernatural Danger Zone says if a non-effect monster is special summoned face up, you can target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. If this card and its owner's spell trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one non-effect monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And Chthonian Alliance is an equip spell that gives the equipped monster 800 attack for every other face-up monster on the field with the same name as it. It's like in worse United We Stand. In fact, worse in literally every single way. And there's no universe in which this card is even remotely playable while United We Stand is legal. Yet it's in our deck. Moving on, we have 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance, 3 Pot of 1 Pot of Prosperity. We're playing 3 Dogmatic Punishment, 3 copies of the big boys when it comes to Floodgates, triple lose 1 turn, 2 copies of Token Stampede, which makes all your tokens in attack position gain 1,000 attack and be unable to be destroyed by battle. 3 copies of Fists of the Unrivaled Penny, which when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a face-up non-effect
Why was
monster,
that
gains
only
the
10
activation.
minutes?
And if the set card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck. And finally, 2 Waboku. In the extra, we've got too many monsters we can't make. Camera roster theoretically can be sent off of a dogmatic punishment if our opponent has, like, no high attack monsters we want to pop. And this, of course, pairs well with the Punish Boys. We've got Skull Knight and Skull Wagon alongside Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon for corner cases. So, I don't know. Wish us luck. Our first match is up against Melodious, and we've drawn full combo, about as full as a combo can look in this deck. We have a different machine, for what it's worth. And we're going to fire off a Pot of Duality, and you're going to see that this is an older build of the deck. These Solemn Judgments were still Solemn Judgments instead of Solemn Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi, and we're playing a small Mirror Magic Master package, which got kept for a reason you're about to see. We were under Duality this turn, which means we can use our Freezing Chains to bring it back, and we're going to be under Jam Breeding Machine for the rest of the game, so there's really no opportunity to develop this. They'll lose one turn will make quick work of our opponent's solo, but they'll follow it up with cannon, and we actually don't have an out to that. In standby phase, it's breeding time as we draw a useless piece of cardboard off the top of our deck. Well, it turns out when you play so many useless pieces of cardboard, it's actually pretty likely you're going to run into them. We don't have the punishment here to clear the field so that our slime can survive. Otherwise, what else would we breed with? We'll draw for turn in standby. It's breeding time, baby. That Wetlands coming down will change things a significant amount, but 1700 isn't a huge attack stat. We're still on like a 2.5 turn clock. Our opponent draws for turn, and unfortunately, you can see one of the cards in their hand does have an
I don't know, the keys aren't worth it. They're too expensive. I'm pretty sure without Hyrule rebalance, it wouldn't actually be all that expensive.
And I guess, pass turn. Awesome stuff, everybody. Our opponent's going to draw for turn. It's just a tam-tam. They're going to go Couplet. Couplet effect that's going to grab them a Concerto. Then afterwards, they'll normal summon the solo and activate Concerto to make a copy of the unbelievable Sonata Schuberta. One of these people. Listen, I don't know as many musicians as I should. Next turn, that's going to be a problem for us, so, we'll get over what we can. They're going to trick the effect of the solo and get themselves a copy of Mozarta, and now they just have a bunch of vanilla monsters with over 2,000 attack that I can't get over in a million years. Here comes 9 direct, 7 direct, and we are down to our last 2 slime tokens. Didn't even have the decency to get rid of all of them. Alright, let's go next. Our second match is up against Mimighoul, or as I like to call it, Mid-Mighoul. You can see that our opponent has drawn Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, and Kashtira Fenrir, 3 cards that would be fantastic against decks that were actually good. Unfortunately for them, we are playing Jam Breeding Machine, so we'll activate that, the Aquarium stage, set 3 cards, and pass. They're going to begin with a copy of Fenrir. We will punish with the Fenrir at the earliest possible opportunity, and because they elected to set first, we will end this before I realize I got outplayed and Thrust is coming down. We draw for turn, and time to breed, baby. Down comes the Jam Breeding Machine, 5 hundo coming your way. They're going to go for Room in order to special summon a copy of Master, then they'll activate the effect of the Master in order to grab a Dragon. Pass back to them because we can no longer attack their life points, and then afterwards they're going to activate the Terraforming for a copy of the most powerful spell in their deck, Mimighoul Dungeon. Down comes Frightfur Patchwork. That's an interesting inclusion. Into Mimighoul Dragon into a skill drain. From this position they will go Room in order to bounce the dragon, so its effect will resolve. Afterwards they're going to fire a Mimighoul Maker and do a little RNG. They get Cerberus on our side of the field, and they'll special a copy of Dragon, go to the battle phase, hit over the Cerberus, and then activate Dungeon in order to go ahead and cycle one of their monsters back as material for a big Baphomet. That's a lot of really powerful monsters, but we have 2 slimes on our side of the field. Do you ever think about that? We'll go Punishment to actually stop us, including the field spell. Switch one of our monsters to attack position, and we do get to crash with the dragon. We live the battle phase because of the Aquarium stage. Our opponent's going to go to Archfiend, which has a higher defense stat than anything else on my side of the field. The stage is going to protect our tokens from dying. We will go ahead and summon off the Jam Breeding Machine. You know what's really cool is that it summons an attack position, so we're still taking damage. They're going to attack over the slime token. We will eat the remainder of the field with the punishment, and, well, the board state has been simplified for what it's worth. Let's draw for turn 2 to get... Oh, that's a really nice one, actually. We're just 1 Wetlands away from actually accomplishing something, but no reason to get too excited too quickly. Our opponent's going to, once again, walk into our Aquarium stage with this copy of Edge of Chain. What do we draw off the top of the deck? Mirror Magic Master. Oh, man. You know what's cool is the Jam Breeding Machine's effect is mandatory, so it will trigger even if your board is full. We'll get an Ash out of our opponent's hand, switch our last remaining slime to defense position, and it's time to play the waiting game. Our opponent draws. You draw. Anyone read any good books lately? They're going to set an infinite impermanence in the same column as the skill drain. Don't worry, I don't intend to ever give them an opportunity to flip that bad boy up. It can't negate the effect of a slime token. They'll tribute summon a Cashier Unicorn and walk over the last remaining monster with an effect on my side of the field, meaning that this copy of Jam Breeding Machine puts me in a pretty great position. We'll just pass here once again. What do I hear?
I want to go break some of
our
my
opponent's
stuff,
going to go to the battle phase and walk into
some
the
of my
slime
champion
token,
weapons, so I
gain
can
a fair
repair
amount of
them.
damage, and then pass back to us. What do we have? Oh god, wait, hold
Okay,
up.
that is a
Maybe
lot.
we can actually do something here. We'll set
I
one
thought there
card
were
and
only
pass back to
supposed
our
to be
opponent.
2 of you
They
guys in
drop a
this
turn,
place.
and then they're going to set one card and pass back to us. Oh my god, we did! Okay, Wetlands. Wetlands is one thing, and Token Stampede is another. We'll go to the battle phase, flip up 2 Token Stampedes, and now we can finally get over our opponent's monsters and get in for lethal. We did, and it's over, thank god! So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's on Beatsmith Yubel, and let's not waste any time. They're going to go 1-for-1 into a Samsara Deep Lotus. Lotus for Spirit of Yubel. Spirit of Yubel effect in order to grab a copy of Nightmare Pain. They'll flip up that bad boy that activates the effect of Nightmare Pain in order to grab from deck to hand a copy of the Sure Chronicle. That'll trigger the effects of the Spirit of Yubel for Yubel, and afterwards they'll activate the Sure Chronicle, afterwards squirming to their side of the field before going to effect to cycle the Yubel for a Terror Incarnate. Here we go for a close head into a Requiem effect with the Beatsmith, and they can attach the Requiem in order to fill the requisite material on Necro-equipped Princess. They're then going to make a copy of Phantom of Yubel and then activate the effect of the Sure Chronicle in order to banish that Yubel from deck, activate the Beatsmith in order to summon itself, and go into a copy of Yama. Yama here is going to grab Sharbara, and then they'll activate the effect of Rage Swimmer in order to bring back Spirit of Yubel, and look off for a Rage. Sharbara targets Spirit, of course not even once per turn, so Spirit will trigger as will Yama. That's going to grab both the Spirit of Yubel, and they will also go ahead and grab the Yubel as well. They'll go for the effect of the Rage here in order to cycle back the Beatsmith and activate the Beatsmith. They're going to go for Beatsmith Boots here, and then pitch a Blurry. They'll activate the effect of Blurry, summoning it to their side of the field, going into a Sequentia, and then Sharbara effect in order to send a copy of Abominable Chamber to their side of the field. Sequentia for 3, they're going to go for the Desiree, and then afterwards they'll overlay for a Verudrus, activate the Sequentia effect on field, to equip the Desiree, set 1, and pass. Don't even have room for the called by. Things aren't looking great. Will Pot of Extravagance here, and they let it go. Verudrus negate was our only possible win condition. They're going to go for Verudrus negate here, and then afterwards we'll activate Jam Breeding Machine, Aquarium Stage, set 2, and out comes the Unchained Soul of Rage. Okay, cool. We'll pass back to our opponent. They will switch everything to attack position, activate Dark Beckoning Beast in order to grab their gauge. We'll activate Rivalry. They will Desiree, and we don't have an answer, so let's just scoop them up, I suppose. Oh, what the heck, let's let them get it for people. They're gonna extra normal the Dark Beckoning Beast into Move the Closed Heaven, and then they'll go Battle Phase. That's 28, 3, 18, 12. Okay. This time for sure. Man, this Swap Frog is doing hot nothing. We'll go for Pot of Duality here, finding off the top. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, you are seeing why we are not playing it anymore. Swap Frog sending a copy of the Mirror Magic Master to the graveyard. Let's activate the effect of the Mirror Magic Master in order to grab Freezing Chains, activate Jam Breeding Machine, and wow, what a cool setup combo, Joseph, that does nothing. We'll set 2 cards and pass back to our opponent who has drawn Harpy's Feather Duster. Alright, so we're back with the deck, and honestly, I'm surprised it even got one. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. And the cons. 1, literally a full summon lock. You can set, but you can normal, flip, or special, except for slime tokens, and there's literally only 1 card of the game that summons them. Of course, you can't even summon the machine if you already have the tokens on field, so there's even a sequencing problem in this setup. 2, you don't even get a token every standby phase. The machine has to survive to your own turn. Your opponent has to read the text on the card and elect not to destroy it, though realistically they may just do that. And 3, the Reactor Slime can't even use its graveyard effect as Metal Reflect Slime, not a slime token. All in all, don't make me do this again. So that's that. A huge shout out to the individuals who make these videos possible, most notably my Patreons. The high tier 1 card right now, and I will read their names as contractually obligated. First up is Slifer274, followed by Elena Tincher, Alex Perea, Allison Elliott, Ally, Brett Henry, Darkmaster Zork, Durban Dragon, Devin Senpai, DJ Elefante, FTS4 Derp, John Piet, Killer Croc 467, Nightmare, Eagle Rights, Longstone, Luis Hernandez, Lullaby of Souls, Master of Bastard, Matthew N. Durezzo, and Blade Dolce, Mike Carlotti, N54 Lionheart, Nacho Gonzalez, Nebulo Yukio,
Project Mercury, Rose Lapine, Troy said Fire Ranger is gay, Who's Next, Wonder Waffle, Your Pot of Breed does what, and Yuki. Couldn't have done it without you. I wasn't lying, by the way. I really bought that card.
Daruk's protection is now ready to roll.
That lasted 10 knocks. Good enough. Ah, shit, it's raining. lot of diamonds. I don't have a boulder breaker for you guys. So this is all you're getting. There you go. Game no crash. I make save. Let's go.
Breath of the Wild